New information suggests we're tapping out fewer text messages than earlier this year, and the decline could be due to your smartphone. A new report released Monday says texting for the third quarter of 2012 is down compared to the first half of the year, with the average cell phone user sending 678 texts per month, down from the previous mark of 696 per month. A tech blogger with the New York Times points out while that may seem like a small dip, the change is noteworthy since text messaging had been steadily growing in the U.S. for several years, and the decline would become more pronounced as more people buy smartphones, even though more than 50% of cell phone owners in the U.S. have smartphones. Is the decline in texting simply a bump in the road or a red flag for cell service carriers? A writer for Read Write says it's not that people are any less connected or firing off fewer messages, but they're just doing it in different ways. One of the biggest culprits associated with the decrease is indeed iMessage, which operates exactly as text messages do but bypasses the carrier entirely for Apple-to-Apple communications. Another culprit is Facebook's Messenger app, which also operates without having to route messages through the mobile provider. A blogger for Apple Insider shows how this can happen, saying traditional texts come bundled with cellular service subscriptions, while apps like Apple's iMessage allow smartphone users to basically do away with texting completely, as long as the people they're messaging have compatible data-based apps. So just how much are these data-based messaging apps skimming from potential profits for carriers? A blogger for Cult of Mac points out that texting was a $25 billion service in the U.S. and Canada during 2010. Every dollar consumers spend on texting equates to 80 cents of profit. That compares with just 35 cents of profit for every $1 spent on voice calls or a data plan. Will iMessage and similar apps send traditional texting plans the way of the horse and buggy? A blogger for GigaOM says smartphone users should hold their horses. Yes, there are more than 200 million iOS gadgets in use, but Apple's mobile operating system accounts for a little less than 1/4 of the overall U.S. smartphone market. The vast majority of users will be highly unlikely to change their messaging plans, and carriers control the networks. So they could identify iMessage missives and count them as SMS if they chose to, or they could simply raise overall data charges. A writer for TechCrunch wrote about the potential impact of iMessage after its 2011 release, saying there's a lot to like about iMessage invading traditional texting's space. iMessage is sort of like SMS 2.0, and again, free. People will use this a lot. As a person who has paid hundreds, if not thousands, in unfavorable SMS fees in my life, I happily say to the carriers, eat it. For now, both iMessage and regular texting remain unchanged, and rumors of Android creating its own data-based messenger are still swirling. For Newsy, I'm Christina Hartman, multiple sources, The Real Story.